games after. I go to Kings game a lot. It's about an hour and a half drive. Hasn't been much to watch for years. But
16 years without the playoffs, if we're being precise.
And so when they got Sabonis, though, like, look, I love Halliburton, man. He's going to be a star. But sometimes there's trades that are like really good for both teams. And I thought this trade was good for both teams. You could have trades where both win, right? And I think people want to make one a winner or the other. They both won. This is the best big they've had since Cousins. Best, this is Weber Cousins category. And they had no size. And I saw Sabonis play closely in India, believe it or not, against the Kings. And I wasn't a big fan of him in college. I feel like since he went in the NBA, he's put on 50 pounds. Go look at his Gonzaga pictures. This dude's a monster, man. And he could hit shots, score in the post. There's not a lot of guys that could score in the post. He's old school, score in the post, not that 5 feet out of the post back in. Nah. His daddy, who's big time, one of the greatest players in the world history, taught him to get his big butt in the post and make it easy. And he's a great passer, great rebounder. He's one of the league's most underrated players. So what I'm saying is when he got to Sacramento in the trade, I remember at the first game, De'Aaron Fox hugged him in the same way that Magic Johnson hugged Kareem when Magic first got there. Because now
when Kareem hit the hook to win Magic first game,
when Magic was a rookie,
like they won the championship.
He hugged him like that, and it's because now he has a pick and roll partner. Now he's playing with a big that he could pass. Now he's playing with somebody that could carry the offensive load, but on the inside. So I just felt like with those two guys, and then Harrison Barnes, if he's your number 3 scorer, that's a pretty good third scorer. Then I saw their rookie, Keegan Murray, this summer, he's gone off to a slow start. I love him. Yeah. I think he's going to be a star. He's going to get better as the season progresses. But then the Kings quietly added Malik Monk. He and De'Aaron Fox are really good friends from the Kentucky days. And then the coolest white boy in the league, Red Velvet.
Kayvon.
They brought him in, Rick Ashley, a.k.a. Rick Ashley. So, like, they were quietly, like, putting this team together. Rick Ashley is.
A little Rick rolling.
Yeah. And so I just I just saw it. I saw it last season, and then they added on top of it. So it's it's a kind of a little crazy projection, but I know a lot about Mike Brown, how he does things. In Mike's previous 2 jobs, he walked in with a LeBron James. He walked in with Kobe Bryant. This is the first time where he could put his, build his team the way he wants to build the team. And he just built Nigeria basketball's team. So he's a military guy. He was born in Germany on a base. Like, everything with him is structured and regimented, and the Kings needed that. And they were looking for somebody to come in the door and show them the way, and they're listening to him. And so I just think this is just a good fit all around. And so yeah, was there a little wild projection to it, perhaps? But I mean, it's like somebody doing well in the stock market. You got to see something, right? You gotta project something. And I just, from what the roster, from what I saw from the 2 stars last season, this rookie Mike, I just kind of calculated everything, and I'm like, this team's going to be good. This team is going to be good. So I know it kind of shocked everybody, but I think, you notice that I didn't waver from it.
Well, you didn't waver, and they got off to a slow start, but since they've gotten hot, you've done a lot of little horn tooting going on. Now, I'm going to peel the curtain back just a little bit. And when I texted you this summer, I think you originally made the call on NBA Today, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Wendy's pod, but you went on a tour, And I texted you, I was like, what are you doing? Like, you are crazy. And you said, if I'm wrong, everybody will forget about it. Well, that ain't the case now, because you've gone on, we're if it's a mile race, we're done with the first lap and you're already doing victory laps. But that's okay, because you do look smart. They've made you look smart. I still don't like giving up Halliburton a year and a half into his rookie deal, because I think this guy's got superstar potential. I mean, he's going to be an all-star for the Pacers this year, right? He's leading the league in assists. He's a scorer. He's a facilitator. He's legitimately already one of the best guards in the league. I didn't like giving that kind of talent up so early. Now, having said that,
you got to give up something to get something.
And Sabonis has really played well. I mean, I'm looking at his numbers: 17 points per game, shooting about 60% from the floor, grabbing 11 rebounds, 6.5 assists. And I think the thing with Sabonis that, you say, hey, defensively, man, like, are they going to hold up? And they've actually been better defensively and pretty good defensively with him on the floor so far, which is a little bit surprising. Now, offensively, they're cooking. I mean, they are an elite offense. Yeah. And, you mentioned if Barnes is your number 3 scorer, you're pretty good. He's actually their 5th leading scorer. Yeah. Fox he's not scoring a lot more than he did last year. He is scoring a lot more efficiently. Yeah. And, I think one of the big things with this team is, what we're seeing out of De'Aaron Fox. He's shooting the 3 at 38%, which is a significant jump forward. Yeah. Is we're getting past the point of quote unquote small sample size. Yeah. If that's something that holds up, then they're going to be awfully tough to guard. Herder was shooting it lights out for a while. He's down to 42% from 3, but
that's still pretty good, right?
That's still extremely good. Malik Monk gives them another guy who, not just a shooter, but certainly a guy who can create. When Fox is sitting, Monk's always going to be in the game, giving them another ball handler. And then, like you said, Murray projects as a guy who's going to be a really good scorer, a really good shooter. You don't see rookies be very efficient very often, especially early on in the season. Mm-hmm. Certainly you could anticipate that he'll get better as the year goes on. But, I mean, you're talking about, a team that routinely is putting up 120 points per game. But again, where I'm surprised is that they've performed as well as they have on the defensive end. And I think when you look at that, what you got to do is you got to give credit to Mike Brown, who, look, he is known as a defensive coach. And, they're not dominant by any stretch, but they are more than they're adequate defensively and awesome offensively. And that adds up to a team that is sitting in 5th place in the Western Conference.